very often in my coaching, I talk about reinvention. And the reason I talk about that is that life is a little bit more perhaps complicated than it used to be. We're working longer than we used to. Sometimes we have blended families. Perhaps we've been divorced or divorced a couple of times. We've had aha moments where we suddenly realise we don't like what we're doing anymore. Perhaps we studied a degree, graduated in something, we've been doing a job for a couple of years and we just don't enjoy it. Or maybe we've had a really successful career, we've been doing it a long time, but actually it doesn't fit who we are anymore. I firmly believe that most human beings modify, they adapt and they evolve. Some of us don't, but many of us do. And sometimes that's a direct consequence of the things that happen to us. Divorce, redundancy, or just a realisation that perhaps you're not who you thought you were. Perhaps you've been ignoring a certain part of yourself and that's now becoming more obvious. So the reinvention mindset is really about having a flexible, open mindset, not shutting the door to any possibilities, but allowing yourself to step into and away from who you thought you always were and figuring out who you really are authentically. What drives you as a person? What values do you have? What values do you place on other people? Do your values align to what you do in your professional life? Are you introducing, keeping and having the right people in your life? Do you have the right people in your life? Or do you feel like you're just putting up with people just because they're there? Now with families, sometimes we have to do that. But it's about being flexible enough to ask these big questions. Looking at your key strengths. What are you good at? What skills and talents do you downplay or you don't recognise that you want to tap into? What are those burning desires things that you've always wanted to do that you've never admitted to yourself? Reinvention mindset means about being your own entrepreneur. Like looking at how you can be more entrepreneurial in your own life. How can you embrace everything that you are? I know to a certain extent we have to put on a mask at work or sometimes adapt our behaviours, but not at the expense of who we are. I firmly believe it's possible to find something that you love that aligns to who you are as a person. So it's about reinvention, authenticity, confidence, building your confidence, asking yourself questions, and really listening to what you're telling yourself about yourself. What's your gut telling you? Do you really feel like you're in the flow of your life? Because sometimes life is a series of many different chapters. It's not a straight line. Life can sort of bob and weave in many, many different directions. And as I say, it can be a result of something that's happened to us, like redundancy, divorce, moving to a new location, an illness, whatever it is. Or it could be just a burning, nagging feeling that we're not being who we are meant to be. So if you want to find out more about how you can regroup, reboot, reinvent your life or career, then get in touch and I can talk to you more about what it takes to reinvent.